Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to unbox the new Insta 360 X4 GPS preview remote that I picked up for my X4 camera. And then I'm going to show you how to get this thing paired up. So stay tuned to this video and I'm going to walk you through the process. So let's get started. And we're looking at the new Insta 360 X4 GPS preview remote, and this will allow you to see what you're recording in real time from the remote control. I picked this thing up online. It cost me about $150. Just keep in mind that this video is not sponsored by Insta 360. The cameras and the accessories have been paid for totally out of my pocket, and therefore I can give you my honest opinion. So what are we getting with the Insta 360 X4 GPS preview remote? In the box, we're getting the preview remote, we're getting a wrist strap, a universal strap, and we're getting a charging cable. It can attach to a bicycle, according to the box, or around your wrist. So let's open up this thing and see what's inside. So let's get this opened up. The Insta 360 X4 GPS remote. There we go. Comes with instructions. Give you some literature in different languages on the instructions. When using in water, first apply a dry double-sided sticker on the back of the remote, then installed onto the universal strap to ensure the remote is safe to use. So let's open this up and see what's inside. Looks like some double-sided tape that it appears. Open up this box and see what's, feels like something else is at the back of the box. Okay, we got something down in here. Let's open this up. We're getting a watch that goes around the wrist. They look almost identical. This looks like a charging base connected to a USB type A, a wired charging base. We're getting the Insta 360 preview remote for the X4. So looking at everything that we're getting, we have a wrist strap and a universal strap. So which one is the wrist strap and which one is the universal strap? They look almost the same. So if you turn it to the side, the universal strap is more narrow at the base, whereas the wrist strap, the strap comes out on the edges. And it's called the charging cable that's connected to a base. It doesn't look like you can unplug it. It just wired at all times, and the GPS preview remote. So we're getting all of that inside of the box, included with the directions. So as we examine this thing, it's actually small. We're going to remove this protective film. Remove that. And to charge this thing, looks like it's got a magnetic feel. Feel like a magnet almost, like a light magnet. So we're going to plug this thing in and let it charge. I have a connector here on my desk. Okay, so when I plugged it in, it shows that it's already at 80%. No LED lights. Let's turn off the lights and see if there's an LED light. There's no LED lights on the charging base, but when I plugged it in, I feel the little magnet, and then it turns on, as you can see, to show that it is charging, and it came out of the box already at 80%. I'm going to turn back on my light, and I'm going to just let that charge just for a moment. Let's take a look at the universal. So looking at the universal strap. So if you wanted to put this thing around a selfie stick, take the universal strap. And it hooks right into those latches. And it sits right there on the selfie stick. I'm going to try on the wrist strap. Button indications on the top. We have a little open space there on the bottom. The strap is not that long, just enough to barely fit around my wrist. You guys have a big wrist. You may want to take that into consideration. I want to talk a little bit about the remote for the X3. Now, the remote for the X3 was probably half the price of the preview remote. So in order to get the GPS coordinates to work on your videos, you have to have a remote. If you do not have a remote, you cannot get those GPS coordinates on the video. So from the Insta360 X3, this remote was about $75. The preview remote is about $150. Oh my God! It's pretty expensive. You can use this on the X4. So for you guys that have the Insta360 X3, you can use the same remote on the X4. So I'm gonna see if I can actually pair both cameras with one remote. I've been seeing some stuff online that says that the previous remote, the GPS remote, will not work with the X4, but as you can see, it works with the X4. All you have to do is just turn on the remote pairings in the camera. To get it set up, to turn it on, you're just going to swipe down. You're going to see a remote control, which is highlighted in blue. You're going to tap that. And as you can see, it says that the remote is connected. Okay. So the regular GPS remote does work on the X4 camera. Now, let's see if we can pair it to the X3 and work both cameras at the same time. So I'm going to turn on my X3. I'm going to let that boot up. We're going to drop down. We're going to find the remote in the settings. We're going to click the remote, searching. Press the mode button and hold it. Okay, that takes it back to settings. I'm going to click pair new. Let's see, is it going to connect to this X3 while it's connected to the X4? It just says searching. All right, so it doesn't appear to be connecting for some reason. Now that I have it connected to the X4, it's not connected to the X3. So I'm gonna shut everything down. Just gonna hold the power button on the side. I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna shut down the X3. The X4 is already off. I'm gonna turn on the X3. I'm going to power up the camera. Settings. I'm going to go down to reset. Settings. Reset. Reset the remote. Yes. Okay, it shut the remote off. It's back to settings. I'm going to click awakening camera. So it's connected to the X4. I'm going to press and hold the button to turn it off. I'm going to turn off the X4. Okay, I'm going to click pair new. I'm going to go inside the X3, click remote, and see if this thing actually connects. It says Insta360 remote. Okay, now it shows connected. So it shows it right there in the camera that it's connected to the remote. So if I click the record button, it starts recording. Turns the camera off. Top button changes the camera modes. We're going to go back to video. Now let's see if we can connect it to the X4 at the same time with the X3. So I'm just going to set that to the side like so. I'm going to turn on my X4. I'm going to turn on the X4. I'm going to give it a minute to see if it actually connects to the X4 camera. scroll down. I'm going to find the remote. Click on remote. Searching for device. It popped up Insta360 remote. I'm going to click connect. It shows like it's searching. I'm going to click back. I'm going to press the button and see if it's connected. I'm going to go back to the settings. Remote control failed. Try again. It shows up in the device. I'm going to click connect. And I'm going to give it a minute to see if this actually connects. So basically what I'm trying to figure out if the GPS remote would work on the X3 and the X4 at the same time. We're going to give it a minute to see if it actually connects. It will connect to one or the other, but I'm trying to see if it'll actually connect to both cameras at the same time. And here in a minute, we're going to get the preview remote paired to the X4. So it doesn't appear that the GPS remote will run both cameras at the same time, only one or the other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to shut down the remote and I'm going to turn off all of the cameras. Just going to take out the battery. Put it back in. I'm going to take the battery out of the X4. Put it back in. I'm going to turn off the camera, turn off the remote. And I'm just going to power it on to see what actually happens. I'm going to give it a minute just to make sure. I usually have the Bluetooth settings off that powers up the camera. I just want to make sure that nothing comes on. Next, I'm going to just turn on the X4 to see if it actually connects to the remote. So as you can see, it connected to the X4 once I powered it on. So if I press the button, it starts recording. If I press it again, it cuts off. I'm going to turn off the X4 by holding the power button. And then I'm going to turn on the X3 while the X4 is off. I'm going to turn on the X3 to see if the remote actually automatically connects to the X3. So it automatically connected to the X3. If I press the button, the X3 starts to record. But if I turn on the X4, I noticed during the last test that the remote did not connect. So it either connects to the X4 or the X3, but it will not connect both cameras at the same time that I am aware of. So I'm gonna give it a minute to see if it actually connects to the X4, but it doesn't appear that it will run both cameras at the same time. So it's not connecting. It's just only connecting to one camera at a time. If I press the button, it's connected to the X3. So I'm going to shut down the X3 by holding the side button. Let's see would it connect to the X4. It automatically connected to the X4. So the test reveals that the regular GPS remote will pair to the X4, but it will not run the X3 and the X4 at the same time. You can run the X3 or you can run the X4, but you can't run them at the same time, not using the regular GPS remote.
Damn.
So in this portion of the video, I'm gonna pair the GPS preview remote to the Insta360 X4. So this thing gotta have a pretty good charge on it by now. I'm just gonna see what's the battery power level. When I sit it on the remote, it's showing me having 99%, so that's pretty good. So to power this thing on, I'm gonna hold down the small button. So it's starting to boot up. I'm gonna click on English. The word next is at the top. Searching, connect via camera settings menu. I'm gonna turn on my X4 by holding down the side button. I'm going to go into the settings, find the remote, scroll to the left, click on the remote, and let's see if it actually recognizes. So as you can see, the preview remote shows up in other devices. I'm going to click on GPS preview remote. It's still saying searching. Now it shows connected. So I'm going to come out of the settings on the X4. I'm going to click cancel. Scroll down, cancel, scroll up, nothing happens. Scroll to the left, nothing. Okay, we're getting a dashboard. We're getting a compass, and we're getting a settings menu for the remote. Let's scroll to the other side. I'm getting the same thing. Let's go from the bottom up. Nothing is happening. If I scroll from the top down, it just says searching. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to press the record button. Nothing is happening. I'm going to go back into the camera, scroll down, scroll left, go to remote. It says remote connected. So I'm going to power this thing off. I'm going to power off the preview remote by holding the top button. Nothing is happening. Okay, when I tapped it, it went dark. Tapped it, it went back on. Hold the top button. Okay, so holding the top button shuts it off. Tapping the top button just kind of put the remote in a standby mode. So I'm going to power back up the remote by holding the top button. Okay. The preview remote is booting up. I'm going to take the camera, power it on by pressing the side button, and let's see if this actually connects. And we're going to just give it a minute to see if the preview remote actually connects to the X4. It says remote connected. I felt the preview remote vibrate. Preview quality may be compressed. Okay, now it shows that it's on. As you can see, if I press the top button, it starts recording. If I press the top button, it stops recording. Mode button on the top, that changes the modes of the camera. So there's a little delay as you press the mode button. I'm going to go back to video. And so now we're back to video. If I press the top button, it starts recording, stops recording. So for this very next test, let's see if the preview remote will connect to the X3 where I can run both cameras at the same time. Scroll down. You see a little camera indicator there, and I think that's the pairing. I'm going to click that little button, searching. I'm going to take my X3, go into the settings, find the remote settings. So far, nothing is happening. So I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to go back up. I'm going to press the button, hold it down to turn it off. I'm going to take the Insta360 X3 and I'm going to power this thing down. I'm going to pull the battery. I'm going to reset the battery, turn on the X3, go into the X3 settings, click on remote. I'm going to delete the remote, the regular GPS remote. I deleted the remote. Okay, now I'm going to turn on the preview remote. So I'm going to scroll down. I see the little camera indicator. Now it shows over here, Insta360 GPS preview. So basically what I'm getting is that you cannot have the regular remote and a GPS remote connected to the X3 at the same time. You can only connect one or the other. So I'm going to click the little camera indicator. I'm going to click preview remote. I'm going to give this a minute to connect and see what actually happens. It's still haven't connected. Remote control failed. I'm going to click cancel. So what we're going to do, we're going to reset everything. Let's go back to the beginning, scroll up, hold down the button to turn off the GPS preview remote. I'm going to go back, make sure everything is powered off. That's the thing about devices. Sometimes you have to start all over. Press the button one time to turn on the X3. I'm going to hold down the power button on the preview remote. And I'm gonna give the preview remote time to boot up. I'm gonna scroll down, and we got a little pairing button at the top. But before I click that, I'm gonna open the settings on the X3. I'm gonna find the remote, click on remote. Now here in the X3, it actually shows preview remote. So I'm gonna click preview and see what happens. And then I'm gonna click connect. I was trying to start the X4. Take the battery out the X4 because I do not want it to start the X4. I'm gonna click back. Hit remote. Okay, it's a remote failed. So it's showing the preview remote in hand. I'm going to click searching. I'm going to click Insta 360 preview. And I'm going to see if this thing will connect to the X3. If it fails, I'm going to try it one more time. If it doesn't work, then apparently you can't connect the preview remote to the X3, even though it shows it in the device of the X3 settings. It says failed. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to click cancel. I'm going to go back. I'm going to power off the X3. I'm going to go into the settings of the preview remote by scrolling to the left. Click settings. I'm going to go down to where it says I could do a factory data reset. We're going to do a factory data reset. This resets the remote control. Do you wish to continue? Factory reset. So I'm just going to do a reset altogether to see if I need to take the remote that's connected to the X4 out of the preview remote to try to see if I can enter the X3. So I'm going to turn on the X3 once the preview remote boots up. We're going to select English, next. Okay, searching. I'm going to turn on the X3. I'm going to scroll down, go to the remote settings, and click search and let them both search. So I'm not sure if there's an update that needs to be performed on the X3 that will allow it to connect to the preview remote, or if the preview remote is not compatible to the X3. It just says connection failed. Turn back on. I'm going to try cancel. Scroll down, go to remote and see if it's going to try to connect. Now it's showing the Insta 360 preview remote inside of the camera. I'm going to click on the remote and see if it actually connects. And so far it's just not connecting. So I'm not sure if it's an update that needs to be performed or if the preview remote is not compatible to the X3, but right now it's not even connecting. Apparently, unless I'm doing something wrong, it appears that the preview remote will not connect to the X3 camera. The regular GPS remote will connect to either the X4 or the X3, but it will not connect them both at the same time. So I'm going to shut down the X3. I'm just going to shut it all the way down. I'm going to power up the X4. And I'm going to see if it actually connect. Even though I did a factory reset, will it connect? If it will not connect, then I will go back into the settings and then repair the preview remote back to the X4. So as you can see, it said connected. I felt the remote vibrate. I'm gonna click got it. And now it's connected to the X4. Top button, record. Yeah. We have the preview remote and we have the regular GPS remote. The regular GPS remote will pair to either the X3 or the X4, but not at the same time, one or the other. But the preview remote will not connect to the X3. It only connects to the X4. So I'm not sure if there is an update that I need to perform or if the preview remote is not even compatible to run the X3.
Oh my God.
Powers off the camera. I just want to show you guys real quick what it looks like inside of the wristwatch. So we can just drop that in. As you can see, the indicators are on the top and it fits in there really tight. So once you put that thing in, I'm not going to drop it all the way in because I don't want it on the wristwatch. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. The band is not that long, so keep that in mind if you got a big wrist. Just going to take this out of the wristwatch. Same for the universal. It's not as tight. And this here can go around a selfie stick. I can get the regular GPS to work on one or the other, but I can't get them to work on both of them at the same time. And the preview remote, I can only get to work on the X4 and not the X3. So I'm not sure if there's an update that needs to be performed or if there's something I'm just not doing correctly, or if the preview remote is just not even compatible to the X3. So anyway, drop a comment down in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys a little bit later out here in the Caliente garage.